The market drops, pops, then drops again in a day of consolidation. What is our next move? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that we had moved into a major support area and we were looking for a little bit of a bounce, and then we would see what would happen from there. And that's exactly what we saw as the market bounced up to 52.80 before falling just a little bit into the close. Now, the question is, have the bulls done enough? I'll get into that in just one second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below, where you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, I did promise you PT's results from last month, and here they are. He had 50 ES points on his income trades for sitting around and twiddling your thumbs, waiting for the market to close. Pretty easy days for them, pretty nice results. If you want to be part of this winning team, stay tuned for later in the video. For now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. We came down into that key support area we talked about yesterday. I had this black line on my screen. They bounced up off of it in an ABC look, which we would expect. Back tested the trend line, failed there, and then came back down to test the lows. They failed there and bounced it up a little bit into the close here. And now we're kind of in this no man's land. But what we have is key levels and patterns. So for the bulls, they want to continue this trend to the upside. Their target here would actually be about 52.93. But overall, they want to get over 53.11 to signify that we're on our way towards that 53.60 to 5400 area. So on the upside, this first move may be an ABC into 52.93, and that can be like an A of A. Then you get a B and a C, and this would be like your A leg, B, and then C up towards 5400, 54 or 53.60. And that's an ABC because we are tracking an ending diagonal, and this would be wave 5 of that ending diagonal, where wave 3 just concluded. We potentially have wave 4 concluded here, but there is an alt bearish count that will go over here where the wave 4 can come much lower. So for the bulls, continuation is the key. They need to hold this low that they made yesterday, and they can have themselves a little bit of an A, B, and then a C wave set up into that 52.93, probably 5300 area. Good resistance in that area. You'd expect a little bit of a pullback and one more shot up, and that would be the A leg for this move up, and then you'd look for B and C again toward 53.60 to 5400. For the bears, they came close. They wanted to break 52.46 down here, this 764. They came down and tested it, couldn't quite get through. Breaking that would have given them the initial signal that we're going to go lower in this C wave, but they were unable to do so and bounced. So what we're looking for now is the potential that this can be 1 of C, 2 of C, and then 3, 4, and 5 down into this 51.85 to 51.67 area for this C wave of 4. And then from there, we'll see what we get, assuming they hold support, which would be the expectation right now. We would look for an ABC higher into that 53.60 to 5400 area. However, if they cannot hold support and the bulls or the bears continue to break down here, we would look for 51.67 to hold. If it cannot hold, the blue box would be next. And if it cannot hold, that is a major warning to the bulls that a much bigger top is in place. So bears still have their work cut out for them. They've done a little bit of chopping wood, as we could say. They've done a little bit of work to get down here. And this could easily be an A and a B, and then starting C down, as I mentioned. The big thing for the bears, they're going to have to hold it under 53.10. They can give up another move higher here in this C leg. And then what happens on the next pullback will be important. If the bulls can hold and we start to push higher, then it's going to look a lot like we're headed directly toward that 53.60 to 5400 area. If they cannot and we get a breakdown, then we would look for this 51.67 to 51.85 area. If you're looking for a big picture update, I did one on Monday, so go check out that video for the big picture. Over on the NASDAQ, so the NASDAQ has been a little bit weaker relative to the S&P 500, as we talked about yesterday with that 21 exponential moving average on the daily chart. They were able to recapture it today at the close for the daily 21, so they were back above it, but they have moved through it enough times that it's more of a guideline at this point. And as long as they can hold this low here that they made at 18,200, the bulls are still in control, and we would look at this wave 4 and then into wave 5 as an A, B, and starting C up. Now, the negative for the bulls here is that this is not the most impulsive move I've ever seen. This looks a lot more like 3 waves to me than an impulsive move, and then you have a 4th wave that comes back too far. So unless this is going to be some kind of very choppy move here that isn't going to be a standard impulsive like a diagonal, something like that, where we have 4 coming down, you get 5 up to kind of create that wave 1, and then you get 2, 3, 4, and 5 for C up into that 18,850 to 19,129 area. Unless you're going to get this kind of move here, again at diagonal setup, it's not the most impulsive move, which does give the advantage to the bears right now. We'll see what we get moving forward, but it does look like it could be setting up for this to be a potential A, B, and then starting C down with a 1, 2 type setup. And as long as they can hold this high, they can move directly lower. If not, we could see them push up to as high as 18,600. So that's the key level for the bulls to break, is this 18,600 resistance zone here that's been holding all the way across. If the bulls break over that, then it's much more likely we're headed to 18,850 to 19,129. If they cannot break under that and turn down and break this low right here at 18,237, I would expect them to continue down and test the blue box to the downside, which could be a major warning that a bigger top is in place. Now, if NASDAQ breaks its blue box and ES holds above it, it's very possible that we can see this move down on NASDAQ, see them come down, and then bounce where ES goes up and gets a new high, and NASDAQ does not. NASDAQ's been weaker overall, but it has played catch-up when it's needed to, so just keep a few things in mind there. If they break the blue box, that's a major warning to the bulls, and I wouldn't necessarily expect a new high in the short term. So if they start to bounce and get back above it, that would be more of a lower high look setup for me than a move back to the highs. So NASDAQ just a little bit weaker. We could definitely see a breakdown on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ does top first most often. So maybe the NASDAQ has topped and ES hasn't. We'll have to see how this plays out exactly. NASDAQ does still have a path to another high as long as they're above this blue box. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link, and it will take you right over to the web page. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial. And this is because I want you to get in there. I want you to become part of the trading team. Make sure you love it. Try us out. Interact with PT and I. Make sure it's totally for you before you ever spend a penny, and you can cancel at any time. You literally have nothing to lose by checking us out. We also have our educational material. Our advanced Elliott Wave course will be done this week. And in this course, we go over all of your advanced curriculum, which would be advanced fib levels, the diagonals, the double and triple threes, flats, triangles, and trading Elliott Wave, all of the things that you can find in this market that make it very complex and very hard to understand. We have a way to understand where we're at and what we're looking for and how to find key levels to find these patterns. Now, as you can see on the screen, people are loving this course, but I understand if this is too advanced or you're just getting into Elliott Wave, there is our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. This course is helping real traders make real money and finally understand a market in a way that makes sense. It can be very confusing when good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up, and this is because the news cycles don't mean anything, and Elliott knew this a long time ago. He understood that key levels in psychology matter, and what happens when those key levels break, and what happens when they hold. And this gives you a huge trading advantage over the rest of the market. This course is 25 videos where I go over 3 parts. The first would be your introduction, where we go over your Elliott Wave expectations, your mindset and emotions, the KISS method and why it works, your chart setup and tools, every tool you need to use with Elliott Wave and why and how to use it, and your Elliott Wave for Beginners area, where we go through each of the waves, we go through the theory of alternation, we go through the corrective depth theory, the pivot, all the things that you need to know to finally understand this market in a way that makes sense. The really awesome thing about both of these courses, and the advanced course is available to anyone who is a monthly member, by the way, is if you just become a monthly member, both of these courses are included in your membership, as are any other courses I put out. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over all of the counts and what to expect, as well as answer all of your Elliott Wave questions and questions about anything else. We talked about several different things today, how to see different parts of the market, different technical analysis, All of these calls last around 30 minutes. They're recorded, so if you can't make them live, you can watch the replay of them. They're chock full of information. They are well worth the price of admission, in my opinion. We also trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing and day trade, so we do trade quite often in my room. But if you're looking for futures trading, income trading, individual stocks, and advanced trading, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as futures trading, individual stocks, and then PT's income trading, which I showed you the results of for last month. This is month over after month. He gets these kind of numbers for just kind of sitting around and watching the market and doing nothing. It's a pretty low stress trading environment, and you just kind of collect money. So the income trading method is killing it. And he also has his reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a really cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money. And it's how he structures those trades that's so unique. Something you kind of have to see to understand. And that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial so that you can check that out. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, the key takeaways for today, we have our key levels. The bulls need to break over 53.10 to kind of confirm we're in that move more directly towards 53.60 to 5400. If they cannot break over 53.10 and they turn back down, below 52.46 would signify that we are in this C wave and a deeper wave forward toward that 51.67 to 51.85 area. Over on the NASDAQ, bulls need to hold this low here that they made yesterday and push out over the 18,600 area. If they can do that, then 18,850 to 19,129 would be on deck next. However, if they are unable to hold and they break back below this 18,200 area, we would expect them to test the blue box, and I would not necessarily expect them to hold this area. So if they break below the blue box, then that is a major warning to the bulls. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.